welcome to Wrestling and the best wrestling podcast on the internet with millions of fans that listen in my head. This week we are going to talk about wrestling and Evil and how he is doing in the New Japan Cup and other things as well. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. And with me, as always, is my not evil co-host, Justin at In-Ring Art. Justin, I can hear you, Justin. How are you?
I'm doing well, and happy 316 day to you as we record this.
Yep, I actually broke some glass I was walking and I saw a car and I just broke the glass window just out of, dedication to 316 day.
If there's any day to do it.
Hopefully nothing legal happens, but it is 316. I feel like
I flipped off my boss too. No, I didn't do that. But.
Damn, hell yeah, beat him up, drank some beers. I feel like, let's see, what do we have in March? No, in May we have Star Wars Day, right?
May 4th.
But
May
in
4th
March, yes, and then in March you have Mario Day now.
Which one's that?
Did you see that?
No.
March 10th, because it's like Mario, March 10.
Okay.
That's a little much, huh?
Yeah. I'll allow it.
The Ides of March, is that?
It's like some book or something?
No, that's like when Caesar's... If I remember correctly, like the Beware the Ides of March or something like that. And
no, it's Beware of the 5th of November. That's what it is. Isn't it?
There we go.
From V for Vendetta.
That's also well, that's before that. That was from that's their poem from the Gunpowder Plot, right? Beware the 5th of November, the poison. Yeah. I think that predates V from Vendetta, to be fair.
Probably.
Great comic book.
That's a good movie too.
I never seen the movie, but the comic book was. I mean, it's written by the dude who made Watchmen,
Alan Moore. Yeah,
I forgot. Alan Moore. Yeah, he's pretty great.
Killing Joke.
Should do a wrestling comic. Yeah, Killing Joke. Yep, the Watchmen, and
tons of
those
other
are his
stuff.
3 comics.
Yeah.
Did you know that tonight was AEW Collision? Now, neither of us watched it because it kind of just happened. But
I did.
First of all, you had Bryan versus Shibata, right?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, I saw some clips. I don't know who won or anything, but I have seen some clips on
I think you could guess.
Social media. Yeah, I could guess.
I think you could guess, considering one of those guys is about to lose against Ospreay.
Yeah.
Something more we'll talk about here. This was interesting, though. The House of Black lost in the first round of the tournament.
Is that for the vacant tag team titles?
That Sting and Darby Allin.
Who's the tag matchup they're using? Is it Brody and Alistair?
Yes.
Malachi,
yes,
whatever. Yeah.
So they lost, which there's been a lot of talk about this in general. The talk has always been that Malachi Black and Buddy Murphy don't like getting pinned, or don't. Have you heard that kind of rumor? Like they don't like getting pinned or losing?
I've heard something like that, but then they must be some of the most unhappy people on the planet because that's pretty much all they do. Well,
I mean, is it though, or I feel like
I
feel like they've won a lot, except
I don't know. Not recently. I mean,
they did like a cage match not too long ago.
Did they win it? I mean, I think there was. Well, didn't Brody throw, Darby Allin around like a rag doll a few times and win recently?
That's true. Well, I think the big difference here is that 2 out of 3 of those guys probably want to join WWE as soon as possible, right? That's also the other rumor.
Which ones? Brody, both the ones that are married to people there?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That would make sense, I guess.
I've kind of generally got the vibe that, like, without knowing, because obviously we don't, I've kind of got the vibe that, like, those 2 guys were kind of like the Andrade situation.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, where it's like, which is kind of crazy because, like, Tony Khan actually gave Andrade like a good amount, especially near the end. He was in the Continental Classic. Like, Tony Khan didn't have to do that at all. He could have just let him sit on the sideline.
So, he had some exposure that, he had maybe not too much of a chance, but he did have a chance to get over and stuff.
The other person I see in that role is Miro, and there's always been talk of like, does he not like his place in AEW, which he barely has one.
Well,
that he doesn't like losing also. And then recently, of course, we don't really, I kind of care because I actually like her, but her and CJ Perry and Rusev, Miro are not together anymore.
Right, I heard that.
Little bit sad, but also not surprising in the world of celebrity
relationships.
Don't wrestling relationships last longer, though? Or am I wrong?
I've never really done a formal study on it.
No, I haven't either, but I wish that every couple was like Adam Copeland and
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, but leading up to that, there was the whole thing with...
Oh, true.
So, I mean,
Are we talking about Lita and Matt Hardy and all that shit back in the day? Yeah, you're right. Okay. That's true. I guess until you get older, it's like, and then you're in your 40s and you're like, fuck it. I'm going to settle down now.
Yeah. So I think that it's just like any other in the eyes profession, from athletes to, actors and movie stars or whatever, and singers and songwriters or whatever, or just really, maybe it's a reflection of, normal life, and we just don't realize it because it's celebrities.
Well, there's always so much stuff with the celebrity stuff. I mean, you're traveling a lot and all that. I mean, I've heard that he wanted to go back to Bulgaria, but who knows? Like, that's like TMZ stuff. I guess best of luck to him. I like both of them. Miro's been good in AEW, but he hasn't really worked a ton, which sucks. Everything he's done has been pretty good. I mean, he had that match with Hobbs where they kind of said, meat, meat, meat. And that's like, it's kind of created a new chant in wrestling.
No, I mean, I've always kind of liked him from back when he was in the Rusev driving a tank days.
He was cool as Rusev. Although, God, he's physically changed so much. If you watch back then, it's like, wow.
Looks better with the shorter hair too and all that stuff.
That was my Booker T. Wow.
Not bad.
Sorry. So just piggybacking off that on AEW just a little bit. So what did you see of Sting's retirement? You see the highlights? Did you see the matches?
I saw it all.
That show was great.
Yeah, it was a great show. And I think we talked about how Darby Allin will probably be dying in the ring at some point. Won't be in Mount Everest, apparently. But
so that's what I was wondering. That's fake, right? Or
what's fake? The Mount Everest thing?
Well, no, the thing like, here, he broke his ankle because they did a worked fucking Pillmanize on the leg.
Did you see it?
That's gotta be fake.
Did you see it?
I seen x-rays, but what does that mean?
No. Did you see he in the match against Jay White, he definitely hurt it.
For real?
Yeah, he did like a front flip onto him from the top rope, from the, what do you call it, the ring post onto the floor, and he came down and turned that foot. So you could search it. He definitely, it wasn't gruesome per se, but it looked like, he hurt his foot.
It wasn't the chair shot.
No. Go, look it up. It wasn't a match against Jay White because he totally did.
Okay.
He totally broke it. It's believable.
You think that's the universe? You think that's the universe trying to give him a message?
I've seen that type of,
post before.
Post and rhetoric going around. God stepped in or whatever. I guess if you believe in stuff like that, then maybe it is.
Okay, so have you heard of what it's like at Everest right now? Like, have you heard of what it's like there as far as people and kind of the general climate of people and the type of people going there?
Listen, I know enough to know that you can't just be an everyday Joe that goes hiking or likes to jump off of shit and go to Mount Everest.
That's true.
You have to train for years, and that's a serious...
You would think.
Conditioning you have to do that. And if he was serious about it, he wouldn't be wrestling right now. He would be doing some type of training or altitude stuff. You have to be like a real professional mountain climber to do that stuff.
Yes, I'll say I will yes and you. I want to, but I'm gonna have to yes, but right now, dude, there's so many people that climb Everest that it's become like tourist trap level. You see the pictures and it's actually sad and scary. Like there is literally a lines of people trying to get up the mountain at this
That doesn't
point.
mean it's easy. A lot of them turn around and go home.
I didn't say it's easy, although you have a lot of people that die up there too because they go completely unprepared. And it's like, okay, in Colorado Springs, we have something called the incline. It's actually a Manitou. It's like a huge staircase that goes up a mountain. Okay. And on the incline, they always say, like, if you have health conditions, don't do it because, like, it's a bitch for them to helicopter up there and grab your ass from the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's even way harder in fucking in the middle of nowhere. I mean, those are some of the most remote places. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, you're right. It's extremely difficult and stuff. Although I think there's a lot of people that just are like, fuck it. I can do it.
I was listening. I think it was the We Watch Wrestling podcast. It was pretty funny. They were saying that like Darby doesn't seem like the guy that would get like legit equipment to do it. Like he would just go buy a jacket at the Army surplus store and wear one of those like green jackets or something like that. And
wear some normal ass shoes and stuff, no spikes or anything.
He would wear his jorts and tights, I don't think he would, but yeah, go ahead.
With how wealthy he is, I'm probably pretty damn sure that he had a whole team and a whole group because he'd been talking about it for like a year or two.
But I don't think, we see a lot of his kind of antics on social media. I don't remember ever seeing him doing like serious mountain climbing or, that kind of stuff. But I think he was even saying, I mean, I don't know, man. I think if you go to Mount Everest, I'd say I'm not even going to venture to guess what the percentage is, but like if somebody said, hey, he died at Mount Everest, no one's surprised. I mean, it's definitely, I know you can die walking your dog. I know you can die walking across the street. But
I still feel like, well, yeah, but there's like literally dead bodies on Everest. That's an issue.
Right. Yeah. Plus the elevation, dealing with that type of elevation, the breathing, like you got to really train for that.
I don't know if you do deal with that elevation, Justin. I think you wear oxygen tanks and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. Yeah.
I think. So I saw a documentary. This was when the IMAX was not like everywhere like it is now. Mm-hmm. When we were young, the IMAX in the 90s, there was an IMAX like in the Denver Museum, and that's it.
Right. Okay? We had one over at the LA County Museum. Yeah.
And it was so maybe IMAX was like a scientific thing when it first started.
That's what it was. You didn't go there to see the new Terminator movie. You went there to see some nature documentary.
Oh, okay, exactly. And I saw an Everest documentary when I was in the 90s, and that shit scared the hell out of me, dude.
Yeah,
like I remember they're like, oh, look at this crevice. They're like, if you fall in this crevice, you just die.
They literally use dead bodies as markers. Like there's,
there was the guy with the Indian dude with the bright green. Yeah, they're like, all right, once you get to that body.
Yeah. Blah, blah. Yeah. Once you get to, hang out Hector over here, that's where you are at this marker. Like they literally don't even have the resources to get rid of the bodies, to get up there.
Well, what happened to when people used to climb Kilimanjaro? Like that used to be the shit. I don't know, man.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's still a thing.
Go to Kilimanjaro. Do Kilimanjaro, do K2. I mean, shit. Well, no, K2's down there in Everest area. Do Mount, what is it, Denali? Yeah, that's probably even more dangerous though, because I think it's like totally.
I mean, I would be interested. Maybe he's done Mount Rainier, which is up in that Seattle area where he's from. So,
true. Seattle's got it. Come to Colorado Springs. Do Pikes Peak, dude. Like. I've heard that one's
maybe it has, do El Capitan to start. I don't know.
El Capitan, the huge ass rock.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe he has. Okay. Well, we were talking about Revolution and him doing that crazy shit. I mean, when you talk about Darby Allin, it's like one of those things where it's almost like Naito Ibushi back in the day where we have to tell people like, these are adults, that he's doing what he wants as an adult.
Yeah.
I mean, through the glass.
I think a lot of it is like, I just don't want to see a wrestler die in the ring again or die, just, and I feel like he doesn't care. So, I mean, of course he has his right to do that, but AEW doesn't want that type of publicity, I'm sure.
And I wonder what's more dangerous, doing these freaky stunts or just straight up getting dropped on your head over and over again, because that's where, Silver King did die in the ring. I will say that. But Misawa is like the classic of example. The dude's head, he got decapitated without the skin breaking, basically.
And I mean, like Owen Hart's was kind of a different scenario, but it was during an event. But
that's a whole fucked up situation.
I hope that we don't have to. I don't care who it is. I don't want to see anyone added to that list.
I don't care who it is. No. I don't want to watch that. I don't want my kids to see that.
Going through the glass, I mean, I think I knew what he was trying to do. It looked like he was trying to sit up and absorb most of it with his lower body where he had pants on, it seemed like. If you watch the replay, it looked like he tried to get most of it where his on his lower body where he had clothing on, at least.
Were people saying this about Jackie Chan in 1993?
Well, we don't see the stunts. I guess you do on the footage.
They do. They show you all on the end of the movie.
The extra. I don't know. I've been watching those, but Jackie Chan's going through sugar glass, at least in that instance. That was real ass class,
dude. No, there was that one where he like careened down a wire of lights. And I remember all the bulbs shattered.
But that's not live.
Fucked up. I think he got electrocuted. Well, it was live when they showed it in the clips at the end.
Right, but I'm pretty sure if he died, they wouldn't be showing it. Wouldn't go in the footage. Like the Blu-ray wouldn't say.
Saying where people he needs to stop doing that.
There wouldn't be a sticker that says "See Jackie Chan die" in the extra features. Like that's not going to happen.
No, that would have been on Rotten.com or Lively.
Yeah, there you go. It would have been pulled. It would have been pulled somewhere, and someone would have gotten sued.
See Jackie Chan die in the extras. Yeah. It's like a sticker on the front of the Blu-ray.
See Jackie die in 15 different angles. Like no, it's not going to happen. It's not, and I don't think. That would, I wouldn't say that could be the end of AEW if that happens, but they would take some, that would be a serious, that would be really bad. Let's say he did something stupid on Dynamite and someone died on national TV like that, doing something insane. Believe me, that would not be good for them.
Hey, you know what though? They say
I think that. It looks like you froze.
Uh-oh, I think you froze out, brother. Let me check if it's my internet. Nope, it's not mine.
Sure what happened. My dog is.
But Justin has froze out. It is 19 minutes into the podcast, and he has completely gone away, which is okay because I can
froze on me, and now you're
Let's see where he went.
Disconnected.
Let's see what he's doing.
Oh, my internet went out.
You froze. We'll add this back.
Did our internet go out? Thank you.
Try.
You there?
Yes, Justin has froze. That's okay.
My internet just went out. My internet just went out.
Oh,
but
That's okay. You kept recording, right?
I did. I'm hotspotting my phone right now, so let me try and get back on my actual internet.
Oh, you got a hotspot?
Okay, can you hear me?
It's going so slow.
That is so weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're hotspotting off your phone or what?
Well, my internet's back on now, but I guess it just kicked me off for some reason. Now I'm back. That was weird.
Okay, it wasn't that big a deal as long as we're still recording and stuff. I just put a marker.
Okay,
I put a marker so that we know that I'll know where to edit that out.
Mm-hmm.
But and if this happens again, it's not a big deal. We'll just chill out because I was about to be like, "What the fuck happened?" Then I was like, "It's all good."
Yeah, you just froze.
Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We're good then.
Yeah, we're good.
So. You're right. As far as Darby Allin dying in the ring for AEW, that would suck. Although, any publicity is good publicity. So,
not that.
No,
listen,
that'd be horrible.
Especially they could have their contract voided if they're doing dangerous shit like that. If they let that happen.
So there was Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson, great match. there's a lot of just great matches I'll go through here. Roderick Strong, DeVito and Orange Cassidy. So I didn't watch Roderick Strong in Ring of Honor that much, only a tiny bit. And like all he did was like chops and backbreakers, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
I saw a lot of him in PWG. Roderick Strong.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
he's cool, bro. He's got a pretty brutal style. And Orange Cassidy had that belt for like years. They tried to take it off him with Moxley, remember? And then there was an injury, and
he had a
shout outs to
run.
Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, that was a great run.
Oh yeah, would not be surprised seeing him win that again.
And honestly, he's kind of the he's the workhorse of that company. He's one of them. He's out there every week
for sure, like every single week, if not 2 times a week.
I would venture to say that he might have had the most matches in AEW.
It's either him or someone we don't know that is just like on ROH or something like that, or Rampage.
Yeah, he's up there for sure.
Yeah, Blackpool Combat Club versus FTR, another great match.
Mm-hmm.
Moxley and Claudio come out cosplaying as the what is their name? Because they've had 2 different names.
I don't know.
The mask behind you, Hawk and Animal.
Oh, the Road Warriors. Yeah,
the Road Warriors and what of Doom?
Legion of Doom.
Were they something of Doom? Legion, is that the same group?
Legion of Doom. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, it's just, but we call them the Road Warriors.
Or they were LOD 2000 for a minute back in that draw stage.
I get all this shit confused because then there's like a Dungeon of Doom.
That was different.
Like, people make that was a whole different thing, right?
Yeah, that was some shitty thing with Hogan, with Kevin Sullivan.
That's what I thought.
The Yeti.
And who was the Shockmaster?
That was Tugboat.
And how does he relate to the natural disasters?
He was
John Tenta.
Typhoon.
Oh, see, this all makes sense in my head, dude. It's all like, you see, I knew there was the connections, but you're like the glue putting it together for me.
Yeah,
awesome. They are going to do a Dark Side of the Ring on John Tenta, by the way.
I saw that, or if they might have done it already.
I heard it's not that dark though. Like,
yeah, it was. He just died young, kind of thing. But
yeah,
he had a wife and kids.
I guess he was on all the internet forums and shit back in the day. Like in the late 90s for wrestlers.
Well, he was also Golga, if you remember the Oddities, the one that used to have the leather mask on and would carry around the Cartman doll. That was him.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah.
That's almost a bad phase. That's almost like when South Park was seen as this like edgy thing for like, I don't know, dude. It's yeah, I get you though. When you had Ospreay versus Takeshita, great match.
Yeah,
Ospreay
might have been the match.
It's like, oh, dude, Ospreay. It's like, oh my god, dude. But whatever. We've been talking about that for a while. It's just crazy, like seeing him transition and like already getting over. But I guess that's not surprising, right? He's Will Ospreay.
No.
But like the fans, there's no issue of like, oh, do the fans know him or anything like that? He's already positioned. It's pretty much between him and Swerve, like who's going to be a top babyface in this company.
Yeah, and Swerve's had a great year so far too. And just kind of a side note, how excited would you be to see Takeshita and Okada?
Dude, I was thinking about that yesterday. I was thinking that exact same thought. I was walking in here and I was just like, damn, like AEW's roster is so crazy. And I was like, dude, Okada Takeshita, that's gotta happen, right?
Well,
that's gotta happen.
New Japan has got to be kicking themselves how they should have gotten Takeshita at some point.
Well, there's a lot of that. They're probably, I mean, there's a lot of those Japanese companies right now having some issues, including Stardom and Ogawa leaving and all that stuff.
Well, Takeshita's story goes back 5-6 years where they probably should have found a way to get him. I know he was with DDT and Dragon Gate,
like 10 years, I think, dude.
Yeah. How he never got to the dojo is amazing to find, you know.
Well, he did get picked up by DDT. I think he said that he tried out all these different companies, but DDT was the only one. But also, bro, I don't even remember. He used to look like a skinny little child.
Maybe that's part of
Like
it.
he was tall, but he's kind of like Osprey, where it's like we're seeing this thing where a lot of guys in their 20s are so tiny and thin, even though they're like 6'2".
Yeah.
But then like they start blowing up once they like. You're gonna see that, I think, with Kyle Fletcher as well.
Yeah, well, we
think-
did a whole episode on just how basically wrestlers have to grow into their bodies and don't really find that until their early to mid 30s.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like you're gonna see that with Kyle Fletcher. You're gonna see that with that really young boy, Nick Wayne, right? Like they all have similar body types, but
or even Jungle Boy, right? Even with Jack Perry.
Oh yeah, he's actually like he's in that phase where he's kind of starting to grow into being a big, thicker guy. Yeah, and. Yeah. So, and what did you have to say about the actual Sting retirement ceremony? I think it was one of the best retirements I've ever seen, dude.
Yeah. My wife was like, why did he have to win? I'm like, I don't think that was Sting's call. He probably didn't have to win, but
that's weird that she would ask that. Does she know how like normal wrestling retirements work?
Well, she just thinks like you got this old guy on the way out his last match. Like, why is he winning? Usually when you retire,
he's over.
Usually when you retire from something, you're not at the top of your game, right? And you kind of bow gracefully.
He's old. So in storyline, he should be. Yeah.
I mean, you had exceptions like Kobe Bryant scored 60 points in his last game, which was one of the most phenomenal things I ever watched. And this kind of reminded me of that in a way. Is like Kobe scored 60.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah, it was incredible.
That's crazy,
I mean, he took a ton of shots, but the team was down by and he basically he scored 60 points in his final game, and it was incredible to watch. And this reminded me a lot of that. Was Kobe scoring 60 in his final game?
And I guess that's the thing. Like in storyline, it's like this was Sting's last match, and he dug down deep, right? Like in storyline.
Yeah.
And he did it because he started, because literally, I mean, in the match, he became like, he went Super Saiyan pretty much,
Yeah. And I think a lot of it was to preserve the heelness of the Young Bucks, because if the Young Bucks would have won, they might have had to have a mutual, maybe not. But, they obviously would have embarrassed them if they were staying in character. But
and I think the Young Bucks are probably just going to be winning the tag team tournament here, which is not a bad idea.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. But I liked the whole I'm not sorry, we hate you. That was funny too.
Yeah.
So very good retirement. I don't know if we'll ever see a retirement like that again, dude. But that's because people don't usually wrestle into their 60s. Thank God, actually.
And they usually don't become hardcore. They usually don't become hardcore wrestlers and deathmatch wrestlers in their 60s.
Yeah, they don't up the risk of everything that they do in their 60s. So it's
unbelievable.
Crazy, man. That was good. And his sons too. Shout outs to Sting's son. They were great. Very wholesome. Sting's son, I think Garrett is his name. He's a YouTuber. He's a streamer, YouTuber who does Destiny 2 videos.
I think he was the one that I covered in high school football back in the day. Did I ever tell you that? I did a story. I bet you can find it if you Google it. Maybe. So back in, I want to say 05, 06, 07, in that range, when I was working for the newspaper, someone had told me that Sting had sons that went to Santa Clarita Christian, which is out by Magic Mountain. That's where Sting's from. He's from out there. And apparently,
which direction is that?
It's like northeast of here in the desert.
Okay.
Well, not that far. It's like with no traffic, I can get there in 30, 45 minutes, but it's like 40 miles from here.
Okay. I pulled something up called Garrett Borden's stats, but it's Max Preps. I don't know if you ever worked for them.
No, but let me see if I can find it. I have found it before. I have it in my notebook somewhere.
And he went to Azusa.
Oh, I have it.
University.
Here, I have the story right here. Well, hopefully it lets me see it. Here, I can send it to you. This is funny.
So Justin is showing us old work that he did.
I think it might be one Where is the messaging feature?
Is this when you were looking at being a sports writer, Justin?
Yeah. How do I message you on this piece of shit thing? Or beautiful thing?
Yeah,
Here, I see it.
I don't remember how to do that. Oh, you show chat.
Yeah, I got it. See if you can access that, because I might have mixed my... The headline is Sting wrestles away problem for football team.
No, I see it for the news. Okay.
It says I have to log in, maybe. So, anyway, the story was... Oh,
wow.
Can you read the story?
I can see it there. Why don't you talk about it for a minute and just give me a minute? I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So, it looks very interesting. Sharing a practice field, youth soccer team. Okay. It should not be an issue. Keep going.
Right. So basically, the team, it was a small school, Santa Clarita Christian, out in that area, that they're so small that they play 8-man football, which is, smaller than the 11-man football. And they require a smaller field, whatever. And I guess they didn't have a field. So Sting basically said, you can use my property and build a practice field. And unfortunately, I didn't get to talk to Sting. I remember trying to find a way to talk to Sting and have him as a source, but I didn't. But that was just one of the stories I did back in the day when August 17, 2006, when I was trying to be a sports writer in a former life. Wow. Now I'm looking at it. Yeah, I quoted the coach there, and I tried to get a hold of Borden, but I didn't. I think I just talked to the coach.
Oh, and you didn't get a hold of Sting either?
No, they wouldn't give me his connections, but now I'm into it. Sharing a foot practice field, youth soccer team should not be an issue for a high school football team, but until 3 years ago, that was what Santa Clarita did. The coach had to wrestle.
This is a high school? This is high school, right?
Yeah.
News?
How do you like this? Cardinals coach Garrett Moss had to wrestle for practice time with another youth team at public parks in Santa Clarita until Steve Borden offered to help. When Borden, better known as professional wrestler Sting, enrolled his 2 sons Garrett and Steven, he also offered use of some of his property for the team to practice. It just so happened that the Borden had a plot of land in Agua Dulce, about 11 miles from campus.
He's saying that let's see.
With a grass field the right size.
His own
and then I lost access to it.
His own property for the high school team to practice on. So I guess that's what it's like having a really rich dad, right? Is that...
Yeah. I lost access to the story.
No, it's okay. You went away again, but I continued what you were saying.
Right.
Sting basically let them use the property, which is fucking wild too.
Yeah, pretty cool, right? So I remember
big ass property, dude.
I remember going to cover a game against another team where I saw Sting on the sidelines.
Wow, how'd you know it was him though without the paint?
You could tell.
Yeah. That's something I noticed, like in times that I've seen celebrities, even from like 30 feet away, sometimes you just recognize that. Like I told you, I seen Ed McCaffrey from like 100 feet away, and I was like, dude, is that him?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just works that way. That's cool. That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
And both his kids played football. This is a huge side note, but I will say this. I found out about a new place, a school in LA County that I've never heard of. And I seen the school, and it blew my mind. It's a place called Pepperdine or Pepperdine.
Pepperdine. Oh, yeah. Pepperdine's a pretty famous school.
I didn't really... Well,
yeah,
but I hear more about UCLA or USC and stuff
Pepperdine
like that,
is a
small private school.
Yeah, it's a private... I want to say Catholic or Christian. I don't know the difference, but one of those.
This is like a big basketball program type of thing.
They've had good basketball at times, yeah.
Well... It's on the fucking coast, dude.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah, it's on top of this green hill right across from, Malibu Beach.
Yeah, it looks nuts. I could only imagine. It's probably a fortune to go to school there.
Absolutely.
Probably like $50,000 a year.
More.
But no,
more than that.
I saw it was more than that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's like going to USC.
We actually have a school like that in Colorado Springs, actually, too. It's called CC.
There you go.
But,
Colorado College.
The hockey team. Yeah, but no, it blew my mind because I was looking at the March Madness, blah, 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 and they were saying the West Coast is being done down there in LA, and the host will be Pepperdine University. I was like, what is that? And I seen the pictures. I was like, what? It looks like something out of a fucking AI-generated image.
The Pepperdine Waves. surprising.
Pepperdine.
Yeah.
The Waves. That's classy. I like that. That'd be a fun campus tour. Okay, so besides Revolution, there was also, who can forget, there was Mercedes' debut. Did you see Mercedes' debut?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think about it?
I think it's, I'd be pretty excited if I was them with the getting not only Okada, but also getting
Osprey,
her.
Okada, Mercedes.
Yeah. It's a pretty big coup.
Kind of pretty crazy trinity. I thought her intro was awesome. They did the CM Punk thing.
Sure.
Right? Same exact. We won't argue about this. A lot of people say that they should have announced her. The ratings were not a shock. Like, people thought they were going to do huge ratings.
Well,
but I thought the actual content was good.
Listen, but a lot like CM Punk, she does have to stay healthy. She is someone that seems to be injury prone too. So
why would you say that? I think she's been injured like twice.
Well, no, I thought she was injured more than once at WWE. She went away for a long time.
Oh,
and when she broke her foot with New Japan, she was out. They said 5 months, and
almost a year,
and she was out almost a year. So, like I said, I don't know about that stuff, but I think she's had her fair share of injuries, but she doesn't have to wrestle every week,
Yeah, I never really would have thought as her as injury prone. I'm trying to look through her. I don't see any huge hiatuses listed, but like you said, I'm sure. I mean, she's a wrestler. I'm sure she has been hurt at times, but no, I think it's really interesting. I'm a little worried about her, a star like her being in this division that's still growing. Mm-hmm. That is but we'll see. Bring back.
Has Britt Baker been doing anything? Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Bring back, but no, she's been injured. Right. Dealing with something, but she's also been doing media recently and interviews, and so I think the idea is that it's going to be CEO versus DD. I get it mixed up. It's DMD. There's multiple different kind of dentistry degrees you can get. You can get like DDS.
Yeah, I don't know the difference.
DMD.
I'm not even going to pretend to know the difference.
Yeah. So she's a DMD, but CEO versus DMD. Thought her promo was really good. I got emotional. She always cries like that's. But I will say this.
I always.
Well,
her promos have never been the greatest thing. Although that one was good, but her cadence is always like that kind of bad acting cadence. Like I am going to hurt you. But she's gotten better lately.
She's never been a promo.
No.
I feel like this one was good for her.
Her emotional,
what she can do.
When she gets her emotions are good, but her cadence, she could just talk that way. I don't know, but her cadence is very.
Well, that's you got to understand, Justin. That's why she brought in her writer, like her writer
that's
from
true.
WWE. She brought them in because she's not that type, which is smart for AEW. Because one of the things I've heard is that a lot of people they need people to write for them.
I was just going to say that they probably needed to hire somebody like that for everyone, not just her anyway. So good move.
Yeah. Yeah. And no. So it's like The Rock's Brian Gerwitz, if you could say, but yeah. So she has that person there to help her, and probably the person she's going to be promoting against, like you said. And in AEW, you have to be able to promo. That's like a huge part of it because they ain't going to give her a manager, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a shame though. I would have really liked to see her have like a Stardom run and stuff, and do more stuff with that IWGP
and
title.
Who knows if she was signed for? Who knows if she was signed for more dates? But
yeah, they had her for a year. I think. I don't know. What do I know?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. But one of the big differences is that she is a natural heel, and so we'll see. We'll see, because she's coming out, and her and Osprey Osprey's actually a great baby face though. But
yeah, he's doing tremendous.
Her and Osprey are like, I just see one top male, top female.
Right.
Like I just see that. Right
They should have put Monet with the Young Bucks and Okada. You got the Rainmaker with the money, and you have her
with the money coming down.
Yeah,
that's great. Not a bad idea. They might still.
You got Bucks, Monet, and the Rainmaker. That's awesome.
That it is.
Money Inc.
Wait, Bucks. Oh, the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All money
Monet.
on Tundra.
What do you think about Okada heel?
Perfect.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And
it's Okada, bro. He's good at wrestling.
And
he's good at wrestling.
And I think he speaks pretty good English too.
I think he speaks better English than he lets on, because every time he says something, it sounds like he barely has an accent. It's like, what? But nah, dude, like seeing him, we've always known that he was goofy as hell.
Yeah.
And like seeing him be this rude, it's just in a funny way. Like I remember they said, "Oh, what kind of car are you going to get?" Kia. I'm getting a Kia. He said, "No, Ferrari." I was like laughing my ass off. So, yeah. And then being a dick in the ring too. Dude, he's kind of been that way. I don't know if you remember, but like, did you watch Okada when he was like a total heel?
Yeah. It's like dickhead asshole Okada is tremendous. Yeah.
You remember when he went against? I remember when he went against Sonata once, and he stuffed money in Sonata's mouth.
Yeah,
like he got all the Okada bucks and stuffed them in his mouth and shit, and they kicked him in the head.
Now they better make sure that he gets to the top pretty quickly, and Osprey chases him or whatever. But don't make the same mistake they did with Kenny, where they basically put him on the back burner for a year and had him lose a bunch of matches to start.
I don't think he's going to be on the back burner, but I don't think he's going to be part of the main event scene for a little while.
Right.
Because I think he's going to win the Continental belt.
You think they're going to start him out with that?
Yeah, I think he's going to beat Eddie Kingston. I've been thinking about that too, and I'm like, does he need to be the top guy of the company? I don't know.
But Eddie doesn't defend all those titles at the same time, right?
I think he's about to lose half those motherfuckers, because he's going against Mark Briscoe soon, and then I think he's just going to have the New Japan Strong Belt left, and that's it.
Right. Yeah. I don't think he'd wrestle Okada for that.
Yeah, no. And I do not want him beating Okada in Okada's first match.
No.
Like serious singles match. That would be, as much as I love Eddie. There's something else I wanted to ask you about, Justin.
What do you want?
And this is a little bit more of a sensitive subject.
Oh boy.
Because it's about someone you and I like that has made a mistake, and we don't really like saying anything bad about this person.
I think
and
I know where you're leading with this. Yeah.
They also say that when you do a podcast, you should assume that the person you're talking about may listen to your show.
Okay.
So this is a little bit of, but let's talk about Kevin Kelly real quick.
Okay. All right.
Is that what you guessed?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of forgot about it until you mentioned it, to be honest, too. So
I try not to think. So we had, so it started with him sharing information about the movie.
Now,
forgot what it's
called. Can I preface this with something? How do I say this? So I've had some I've had minimal, I'm not saying like he would even know who I was, but I've had some interactions with Kevin Kelly on social media that have been very positive, and
he follows me, dude.
And he's also a New York Mets fan. So,
True.
I've connected with him on that.
So he's
stuff.
Always depressed all the time.
Absolutely. And miserable.
Yeah.
Just like
he has talked shit about that team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I do too. But we're still fans. But there has been some things in the past that I've heard about and ignored and just kind of brushed aside because of, all this, the good stuff he's done for New Japan, and the fact that I've interacted with him and I've always heard good things about him. Like, I did kind of ignore there's just certain things that were tiny little red flags. Like I remember when he was broadcasting during the pandemic, and
I'm interested in this.
And he had a "Don't Tread on Me" flag in his room.
Really?
Oh yeah. And that's just like, all right. And
it's a funny little.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's a little bit of a red flag. Okay. I understand the whole intention behind it, but it's association these days is always kind of like a group of people that I don't tend to believe with, to agree with on things.
Well, and we both also will say that it doesn't matter if we really agree with someone or not politically. Like if they're good at their job, and we can,
and they're cordial.
So there's a couple things. Is like, one, we've talked about this, and we've agreed on this for like a couple of years, is that like he's kind of a dick sometimes, and
Yeah.
like not on New Japan screen usually, but like you hear his interviews and stuff, and I've just always got the vibe that he can be kind of a dick.
Well, listen,
and he's kind of opinionated too.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to, let people know his opinion. And
bury his own company, basically.
If you heard, some of the things he got, I know that if I want to talk to anybody that's full of shit, it would be Bruce Pritchard. But they have touched on Kevin Kelly on the show before in the past and talked about how he got to be very difficult to work with and thought he was the best announcer there when he wasn't, and that kind of was the end over there. So he had a big head about himself.
Like back in the Attitude Era?
Yeah, whenever he was there, towards the end of that. Well, anyway, I don't know. But, there was also, for example, I know that he kind of had his own little promotion he was running. I don't know if he's still doing that. And I don't, I hate to say this, but, the logo for it, I forget the name, was basically like the American flag colors and the red, white, and blue and the stars and stripes, which unfortunately these days, if you have the American flag up, I love the American flag, and I don't have one here.
It can symbolize like extreme nationalism.
It seems to, when people really ride the flag these days, it's not like I got USA stuff. I love it, but I know that if I wear it, it's not. It doesn't seem to have the same vibe as it used to.
Well, dude, it's like I said, it's that extreme nationalism, which is usually correlated with right wing. Not that right wing's a bad thing, but like you said, like there are certain countries, dude, where being like super nationalistic is kind of considered like taboo.
Yeah.
America's very unique in that sense, where it's like, oh, fuck yeah, motherfucker. Like in Japan, if you're nationalistic, I think that's considered pretty right wing.
Well, I'll just put it this way.
If you're like, oh, we want to go back to the old Japan.
I've always loved the American flag and stuff, and I still do. But like, I know that if I hang one outside my car, it's not, what I mean? It just doesn't have the same feeling it did in 1997. Right? It's just
no, but also after 9/11, everything changed too, because remember we all had our flags hanging out of our car after 9/11.
It was a feeling of unity. I think we all felt that way, but somewhere along the way, it's kind of went to one side, and that's unfortunate. And
definitely, it's like a symbol of kind of radicalization.
I wish we could all still unite behind it, but we can't. Unfortunately, it seems like. And I know this for sure. I've been to Japan and I've been to the United States, and I know that I've gone to Japan. I haven't seen one person with the Japanese flag hanging outside their house. Yeah.
So I'm saying it's considered like extreme nationalism, and the only ones you'll see that doing that in Japan are the far right wing. Like a lot of people, it brings up a lot of I don't want to go this far, but it does bring up a lot of like former military conflicts, thinking about people walking around with the flags and
whatever.
It's just it's kind of a no in certain places. But no, I agree with you what you're saying. I'll say my thing is that with this whole situation was that yes, he's had some quote unquote red flags, but he's done a great job. The thing is though, the big thing was going on Twitter and announcing like, oh, this was libel. That's where I think. Now, I don't remember Ian Riccaboni's original post, and I don't think talking about the Sound of Freedom is a bad thing. From what I've heard, I've never seen the movie and I won't watch it, but and that might sound ignorant, but I've read the synopsis, and while it's a conspiracy theory adjacent, the movie by itself doesn't seem that bad. I mean, I've actually heard it's fairly entertaining just as a fictional movie, even though they're kind of claiming it's not. But I mean, that's fine. And if you want to say, I thought this movie that's a little controversial is good, that's fine. But like, when you go on Twitter and start saying like your coworker shit talked you and stuff, that's not fine, Ibushi got fucking fined for that stuff, dude. He got fined from his own company for doing something similar.
I also, it seems like I honestly, I don't know how much Kevin Kelly I've actually listened to or watched since he's been at AEW, but I know that at least at the beginning that he had a lot of critics.
I thought he was good. I thought he was great.
I think a lot of people.
I don't know, but he only worked for like a month.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that
like
he had a pretty negative response to his, work the first, I don't know, when he started there. So maybe that's part of it.
What do you do if you're Walker Stewart right now?
Oh, he's not. I mean, it would. I don't think he's gonna do anything to Walker Stewart, because
you don't think once his contract's up, he's gonna roll in there and be like, "Welcome back, boys."
I don't know. I doubt it, because
town.
I don't think they can afford Kevin Kelly now.
That's probably true. We talked about that.
Yeah.
They're probably paying half as much for Walker,
if not less. Yeah. I mean, I hope Walker's being compensated for it, because I know he talks about needing a lot of work when he gets back to the States, and I know Kevin Kelly wasn't, necessarily on there doing that. He's, Walker.
Bro, they be all making fun of Walker. They be making fun of Walker for being fat in Japan and stuff too.
By the way, he's done a tremendous job, I think. He's been a quick study. And
he's really growing on me.
Yeah,
he's really growing on me. At first I was like, this guy's a tryhard. But then I start to listen to him and hear, I was like, oh no, he's actually trying hard because he likes the product. Like, he's not a tryhard.
And he cares about his job.
And actually, we've talked about this, but they hired a woman too. They hired a woman to do media in Japan and in America. She's good too. Mm-hmm. So it's her and her and Walker and Chris now, and she does like some interviews and stuff. And I'll have to get you a link for her, because she's actually done a great job too.
What's her name?
Her and Walker together. I don't remember her name, but she was around during Wrestle Kingdom, and she was like, "Oh, I'm New Japan, blah blah blah."
It wasn't Emily May, was it?
Let's see. Was it Emily May? Let's see. Let me look at the picture. No, no one like that. I'll have to find it. Oh, whoops. I'll have to find it and let you know. No, she was cool. Very charming lady that I'd like to see more of her doing interviews, kind of like the Renee Paquette of New Japan, so to speak. So, kind of rolling into New Japan, which we talked a lot about AEW. I'm going to watch Collision after this. The Infantry beat. So, there's one more thing I want to say before New Japan, actually, which is that Mick Foley, not sure if he'll have one final match. What do you have to say about that?
I don't think Mick should do anything anymore. Why?
I know, dude. Yeah. My thought was like, don't do it, bro.
I could see Mick looking for another payday, but like, I don't. I think he knows better. Is he saying that he wants to have one?
Say this about. He's saying, well, I'm just not sure. He said, I want to, he's a wrestler still. And he says, I want to lose 100 pounds and then we'll see type of thing.
He's done that before.
Also, losing 100 pounds is not the easiest thing in the world. So
he's done it multiple times.
Wrestlers, if he can do it, he can do it. But yeah, he's like, I'm not sure
you've seen him walk. I mean, unless he has a cinematic match.
Seriously,
with all three faces.
That's not what people want from him. That's not what people want from him. From all three faces in WWE, I don't know if they're going to let him have a match in WWE, bro.
No.
I think he saw Sting and he's like, I can do it too. And it's like, bro, you're a different body type. Now, were we saying what we're saying about Darby Allin? Were we saying that about Mick Foley?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think people were.
That dude did some crazy fucking shit that I would say is just as bad.
Absolutely. Unprotected chair shots to the head. I mean, I know that wasn't always his idea, but people were saying it.
Yeah, that was fucked up. So we did our New Japan Cup brackets a couple weeks ago, and then we got all confused about it. But the brackets are officially here. So on the left side, we have an injury of David Finlay, and it has not been specified. So unless you saw the matches and you've seen something and he was selling a part of his body, otherwise we just see something that says the New Japan Cup entrant David Finlay was forced to withdraw from his tournament due to a health complaint.
Apparently,
so who knows? He could have the flu. He had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, I heard something. They said Walker, and unless it's just they said that he had to go to the hospital for whatever it was, and he's
probably got a case of ligma.
Something like that. But yeah, so
you remember that joke?
No. Refresh.
Ligma balls. Ligma balls.
No, I never heard that, actually.
Yeah,
Gross.
you say that's what you tell people. So that's happening, which is sad, and I hope that he gets better soon. So on that side, we've got the semis, or the semis are the ones right before the final, right?
Yes.
It goes finals, semi, then quarter.
Yeah.
So the semifinals is Sonata and Goto, which actually sounds like a good match to me. Jack Perry lost to Sonata, which we thought that Perry would get his win back, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. I've heard Jack Perry's been pretty good in this tournament, but I haven't seen all his matches.
I saw the Sonata match and it was cool. It was fine.
How about the Yano match?
I didn't see that.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on with Jack Perry either. Like, he started his own merch shop on the internet and stuff, so that's weird. My guess was like they're just sending him here to get better, right? Would that be a good assumption?
I think he wanted to go there to get better himself.
Why do you think that?
Because he knows he's not going to be champ or be at the top of the card there anytime soon, so he might as well go try something new.
Well, the other thought was like, you leave and then you come back a year later and the idea of Jungle Boy is just completely gone.
Yeah, he's going there to separate himself from that. And, you know, Japan's like, we'll take
that music. They bought that music.
They can always dust it off.
You know, they bought the music for like tons of money, and now he's like, I'm not a jungle. I'm a scapegoat now. So we're getting Sonata and Goto, and I have an idea. I think Sonata should go to the finals, and I'll tell you why here. But just listen. So on the other side, we have Evil versus Shingo. Okay, that's tonight, I believe.
Yeah,
is it?
Both of them should be tonight.
No, there's 2 matches tonight, I believe.
Then we're not in the semifinals.
So we have Evil.
Isn't Narita still alive?
Because no. Listen, dude, because Finley's out of the tournament because he got injured, they skipped. So you get like Goto got like a bye, I guess, and Sonata already beat Jack Perry. So I don't. That's just what happened.
Who's Ren Narita going against?
Ren Narita's going against Yota Tsuji. Now here's what I'm thinking. Yota Tsuji beats Ren, and then he beats Evil. That would be cool, I think, if that happened. And then you have Yota versus Sonata in the finals.
That would be good. That would be fine.
So, I mean, of course, this is assuming Yota would win. Now, the booking for New Japan has been real weird lately.
I wouldn't be surprised if they would give us Evil and Sonata, and then they'll have please don't do that.
I would rather have Evil win than Sonata at this point. And I'm just not sure, dude. I don't know what to think of it because, you know, I'm not in Japan. I think you need to go back to Japan and go to these matches because everyone says, oh, bro, the House of Torture is so over in Japan. And it's like, bro.
I don't know.
What do you think?
Man. Finley's, what do you think they had in mind with Finley? Do you think he was getting past that match then?
See, I don't even know because I think it would have been Finley versus Sonata, maybe. I still think Sonata.
And that's the semifinal,
He could have won the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them doing.
They could have taken the belt off of Finley so he could go for the IWGP.
I mean, if they're going to do it right, they're going to give it to Tsuji, you know.
Did you see Narita versus Zack Sabre Jr.?
Yes. That was pretty good.
How was that?
It was pretty good. It was very good.
Was it all interference, though?
Towards most of it, yeah. But it was pretty good until, I mean, it was a lot of interference, and hopefully they're building up Zack to win the G1. That's what I'm guessing.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome seeing Zack headline the Tokyo Dome. Well, I will say, you deserve it. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that one.
I mean, now that Tama Tonga's gone, he's the loyalist foreigner there now, right?
Zack?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's the longest
tenured,
but also I don't think he'll ever be going anywhere else except maybe England.
He lives there. Yeah. And he said he turns down money all the time.
He's been wrestling there he started in like Noah.
Right. Ago. There you go. He was a Noah young boy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So he's been around the damn block. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. Let me open up. You know what I was thinking today? Who is the most powerful woman in wrestling besides Stephanie McMahon?
Is it Sasha Banks? Is it Monet? Is it Charlotte Flair?
Well, the most powerful women they're wrestlers, but what kind of power do they have? Like I'm talking like the who was that lady that used to beat executive? Who was that lady that used to beat the other women? Was that Mae Young? Moolah. So she was very powerful.
Yeah.
Who Matoka Baba? Do you know who that is?
No.
That's Giants Baba's wife. Oh. I believe she also had quite a bit of power. I was just thinking about that today. Like, who was the most powerful woman ever? But we would probably say Stephanie McMahon ever, right?
Probably, unless Linda. I don't know.
Ooh, that's true. But what kind of say did she have? Hey.
I'm trying to think of like territorial people. There's probably maybe someone in wasn't the Rock's mom running some territories and giving out some money at some point?
Is she not in the WWE Hall of Fame this year?
His mom?
Leah Maivia?
Oh, I don't know. Is that who's in?
That's who she is. Yeah, that's who's in. Okay, Maivia, the wrestler. Okay, Samoa. This might not be his mom. This could be way before him. She was the grandmother. Of Dwayne Johnson.
That's who it was.
Okay, so she is in the professional wrestling. Yeah, she did. She will be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
She ran the territory in Hawaii, I think.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy, dude, is that territory, like, I heard it was like super popular. And, think about it. It's like tourists go there and you could watch wrestling every freaking Friday.
Wrestlers were probably dying to go there for 3 months.
Oh, that's true. That's a great point. And it's the Midway it's not truly the Midway because there's a place called Midway, but it was between Japan and America.
Right. But people were like, oh, I'll go to, wrestlers are like, all wrestlers are like, yeah, I'll go to Hawaii for 3 months.
I'll do a tour of Hawaii. Hell yeah. No, there's a lot of like the world of wrestling that I can't say I miss it because I wasn't alive for it, but like when I hear about it, I'm like, oh my God, that would be so cool. So if Dave Meltzer talks about being in Hawaii back in the 70s, and he said like the beach would empty Friday night at like 6 p.m. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like everyone was going to the show.
Makes sense.
And the biggest card, let's see, in 1985, they did 20,000 in Hawaii for a hot summer night at Aloha Stadium in Honolulu.
That's a big stadium too. That's a football stadium.
And you know who performed that night? Antonio Inoki versus Bruiser Brody.
There you go.
Andre the Giant versus King Kong Bundy. Ric Flair versus Siva Afi, who was probably their hometown. You know what I mean? Jimmy Snuka, Seiji Sakaguchi, who is... Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Anyway, there's also... Have you heard of Ultimate Muscle, the comic book? I know you have.
The toys.
Like, you've at least...
Were those the little pink rubber toys?
They were popular when I was a kid, right? When we were kids, right? Mm-hmm. But it's also a Japanese manga, comic book. And it's pretty goofy. It's a very exaggerated wrestling, but, they do power bombs from like 100 feet up and stuff.
Sure.
However... At one point, he goes to Hawaii and he faces the Hawaiian champion, and he's got fire blowers. The Hawaiian champion's dark-skinned dude with like fire blowers and, dancers and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, that would have been a cool time. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think what else. I thought there was one more thing I was going to mention. Are you playing any video games right now?
I played a little bit of...
Speaking of Hawaii.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Infinite Wealth today, but it's been a few... I've had so little time these days, and when I get home, I'm exhausted, so I don't feel like playing video games, but
I know.
I played some Infinite Wealth today for about an hour.
I've also been on a, like I just had a week where I barely played anything. I've been playing a little Starfield, Everyone's, you know what game like everyone is playing right now? It's called Helldivers 2. Have you heard of that?
No, but I've heard of Starfield. That sounds awesome, but I know it's not for PlayStation. Might be eventually, though, I think.
It will be.
Seems because, like Microsoft is going to...
no, Microsoft already announced they're going to start releasing stuff for Switch and PlayStation. So I think they want to come out with Game Pass for PlayStation eventually, where you can play all the
Microsoft
Halo and all that stuff.
I'd be really excited to try Starfield. It sounds like my kind of game.
Do you like Bethesda games?
Name some for me.
Well, there's only a few. There's Fallout 3, there's Fallout 3, there's Morrowind, there's Skyrim.
I never really played them because I've mostly owned PlayStation.
Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Those all came out for PlayStation.
Oh, really? Never played them then. I haven't really played those.
Well, then, okay. It's a Bethesda game. It's a first-person game where you do quests. You walk around. It's very open-ended.
Yeah.
You can go to different places and
planets. I like space stuff, like open-ended. You go to planets and stuff like that, right?
Okay, you'll like that.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Because it's a lot like Mass Effect, and that's been pretty fun. Still playing some Tony Hawk 4, the old one.
Sure.
About to beat that. Except it's, you know what, dude? Getting the 2 million point combo, bro, that's hard as hell. I don't know. Like, I went on to Google and you see some dude, he's like, I got a 10 billion combo.
Sure you did.
It's like, okay. Yeah, what? No, he shows video.
Okay. I believe
dude,
it.
It's like any skill, bro. Whatever you're good at, someone is a million times better than you at it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, unless you're like savant syndrome or anything like that. So, cool, man. Well, I thought I had something else. Let me just think for 1 second.
Yeah, think for 2 seconds.
No, I don't really want to talk about Vince McMahon. That was in my head, but okay. I guess I don't really have anything else. We'll see what happens in the next. We have WrestleMania coming up. We really didn't talk about that much, but I think people know that we're excited for that. Did you watch the Rock concert? Did you see the highlights of that? Friday of the Rock doing his musical number?
I didn't see it actually, but I did see him.
Okay. I've heard it was real good.
I did see the social media thing where he's in his weight room and he told Cody to shut the fuck up, which I thought was great.
Those are so good, dude. I've been watching those every week.
They've been, you know what? The Rock has been doing some great work lately, and they're kind of towing the Attitude Era line with certain things he's saying.
Well, he curses, dude. And he's been, dude, it's just been so funny.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, shut the fuck up. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, he's basically calling him a little bitch.
Has he been?
Oh, I'm crying.
Yeah. Was he saying that on TV or just on the? I know I've seen it on social media.
Hell no. He says that on his social media,
which has been great.
Like you said, the one with the weight room, and he's like, "I'm gonna whip you, and your mom's gonna."
He's got the weight belt and all that. Tremendous stuff. Yeah. The Rock's.
Oh, that was great, dude. Yeah. And it was only 8 minutes, but dude, I was like, I almost wish I could see one of those every week. Like, keep going, Rock, even after WrestleMania. Give me another fucking promo every week.
Hey, who knows, man? We might be seeing a lot more of him in the coming years.
With him being a part of that. And then he goes, that's some good unleaded. But, that is the one thing I wanted to mention is that NXT. I've been watching more NXT lately just because it's one of those so bad it's good, but it's not actually horrible. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's like some of the stuff is like, for example, the title program. It's like it's like a mob story, and like one of the dudes is like, I've killed a bunch of people on this road, and it's like, wait, the wrestler is like also a mass murderer. You know what I mean?
Is it getting Lucha Underground on us?
Yeah, a little bit to that level, because it's like, bro, you didn't kill anybody, you're a wrestler, bro. But then the thing with the two women, it was so funny, like, one girl kicks the other one right between the legs, and the girl just crosses her leg like, ooh. It was like straight up 80s comedy or this. And then it was almost like the Simpsons, like football to the groin ridiculousness. And then she low blows the other girl, and then she goes cross-eyed, and then the ref calls the match. And I'd never been so confused watching something in wrestling, because it's like, was that the right call? And why did they go cross-eyed?
I don't know, man.
I'm going to send you that one. You're going to have to check that out because
Alrighty then.
maybe we'll do a whole episode on low blows next week.
Lovely.
We'll figure it out.
Bonus.
But, all right, man. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Anytime.
You're still recording, right?
I'm still recording.
Cool. Well then, guys, listener, if you are out there and you're not a Nigerian scammer bot who's listening, thank you guys, and we will see y'all later.
Buenos noches, or no.